Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're following a grieving food writer. Across the globe, really. It's a mission that starts legal, but becomes deeply, deeply culinary.
Yeah, the sources here are just packed. We've got philosophy, cultural nuances, real emotional depth, all set against this backdrop of high-end modern Chinese cooking.
Our way-in is Maggie. She writes about food, but she's coping with something awful, the sudden death of her husband, Matt. Car accident.
Just terrible. And she sort of shut herself off, living alone on a boat, trying to, manage her grief, feeling very cut off.
And then, bam, this call comes out of the blue. An attorney, Carrie James, contacts her from Beijing.
Right, and it's about a legal claim against Matt's estate, filed in China under this Children's Rights Treaty. Someone is claiming Matt fathered a child there, a girl named Shuing.
Which is obviously shocking and incredibly complicated. To sort it out, she has to go to Beijing. Like, now.
Yeah, the urgency is key. She needs to get a DNA sample. It's this stark logistical nightmare, and she needs a reason to suddenly fly to China.
So her editor, Sarah, gives her one. A last-minute assignment profile, this up-and-coming chef in Beijing, Sam Liang.
When that assignment becomes her cover, but it also becomes, well, everything else.
Exactly. So this deep dive is really our way to track Maggie's journey. We'll unpack what she learns about this incredibly rigorous world of Chinese cuisine, about Sam, and this vital concept of guangxi, and how it all changes her.
Oh, okay, so Maggie lands in Beijing, and the first thing that hits her, maybe unsurprisingly for a food writer, is the food itself.
Yeah, she knows American food inside and out, regional stuff, but she immediately clocks that the food in China is, as she puts it, completely different from Chinese-American food.
Which makes sense when you think about it. Chinese-American food often adapted, right?
Yeah.
Became something familiar, reliable for Western taste.
Exactly. It aimed for comfort, maybe predictability. What Maggie finds in China, especially at the level Sam operates at, is almost the opposite. It prizes uniqueness, surprise, but within very strict ancient rules.
And maybe the biggest mind shift for her and for us comes from this core belief about what food is for. It's profound. The sources state that the absolute peak of cuisine isn't eating it. It's not even cooking it.
It's the giving and sharing of food.
Right. That's the pinnacle. It takes the meal way beyond just personal fuel or pleasure.
Good food shouldn't be eaten alone is the idea. It's a deliberate act. There's craft involved, yes, but it's fundamentally social.
A social act and even a spiritual one. Making and sharing great food is seen as like a form of meaningful exploration, building connections.
You see that seriousness reflected even in the basic structure of a meal, this balance they talk about between fan and song.
Yes, fan. That's the base, the grain, rice, noodles, dumplings. It's the foundation, the dominant part.
And that's paired with song, or sometimes called kai.
Which is the flavor component,
Yeah.
the vegetables, the meat, all seasoned. And pork, it's noted, is really the central meat.
Then there's the cooking itself. Maggie learns there's a kind of hierarchy to the methods. It's not random.
Not at all. Boiling, steaming, stir-frying. In that order of preference.
By that order.
Well, historically, it was about efficiency. Conserving fuel was crucial. The sources mention how chefs would literally stack food layers to cook multiple things with the same heat source.
So it's tradition born from practicality, resourcefulness.
Precisely. Smart cooking.
Okay, so that's the structure. Let's talk flavor. The art of Wei, this mixing and matching. Chef Sam Liang explains these 4 key ideals.
These are crucial for understanding what high-level Chinese cooking aims for. First up is xian.
Xian, often translated as fresh, natural.
Kind of. Think perfectly clear chicken broth, the clean taste of super fresh fish. It's that inherent sweet, natural flavor of the ingredient at its peak.
But here's the fascinating part, the paradox you mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
Getting something to taste that natural often takes incredible effort, complex techniques.
Exactly. It's artifice in service of seeming natural. You work like crazy boiling bones, skimming, clarifying, so the end result tastes effortless, pure, like it was just born that way.
Hiding the work. Okay, what's next?
Xiang. This one's more straightforward, the fragrant flavor, aroma.
Ah, okay. Like frying garlic and ginger or roasting meat. That smell that hits you first.
That immediate sensory pleasure. Then there's nung.
Nong. That sounds deeper.
It is. It means concentrated, complex, deep flavor. Think rich stews, fermented elements, long-simmered sauces, flavors that coat your mouth and linger.
Right. And the last one sounds tricky, especially for modern Western palates. Buni.
Yeah, roughly translated, it's rich flavor that tastes of fat without being oily or greasy.
So richness, but clean richness. not heavy.
Precisely. And the key point here is that fat isn't the enemy. It's desirable, essential even. The mastery is in integrating it perfectly so you get the satisfaction without the, unpleasant oiliness. It's a different value system around fat and richness.
This focus on hitting specific flavor notes and that artifice behind hygiene, it leads to this other idea, doesn't it? Illusion in food.
Absolutely. It's not just about feeding you, it's about engaging your mind, teasing it.
Like the examples in the source. Dishes that look like one thing but are made of something else entirely.
Yeah, like a whole duck made from soy and gluten. Looks like duck, feels like duck, almost tastes like it. The goal is to tease and provoke the mind, make you think about what you're eating. It turns the meal into an intellectual puzzle sometimes.
It really elevates the whole experience, connects back to that philosophical weight, contrasting Plato dismissing food as just bodily routine.
Right, mere flattery.
With Confucius saying he had no objection to the finest food.
Yeah.
It puts cuisine right up there with art or philosophy. It's an achievement, a mark of civilization.
And Chef Sam Liang is living right in the middle of this demanding world. He's not just cooking, he's in this intense competition.
Right, for a spot on the national cooking team for the 2008 Games. One of only 2 spots for Northern-style cuisine, his specialty, imperial cuisine.
Which is like the highest level, steeped in history, artistry, incredible pressure.
And he's got this complex background, American-raised, half Chinese, half Jewish, trained by his uncles in China.
Yeah, Jiang, Tan, and Xi. But his third uncle, Xi, who's a master chef himself, is dying down in Hangzhou.
Adding this layer of personal urgency. And then there's his father, Liang.
Sam's father refuses to return to China. He carries deep trauma from the Cultural Revolution.
Because his own father, Sam's grandfather,
the one known as the last Chinese chef from the book Sam reads, he died in prison during that time. It's heavy history.
So Sam is carrying not just culinary ambition, but family legacy, maybe even a hope of reconciliation.
Definitely. And his audition for the team, it's a formal banquet for 10 judges. And we learn this banquet isn't just dinner, it's a language.
A language of power and hierarchy. Every single detail matters.
Everything. Where people sit, the shangzu, the seat of honor, which dishes are served in what order, the toasts when they happen, what's said, it all conveys meaning.
Sam's task is basically to tell a story with food, referencing history, art, poets like Su Dongpo.
Who the famous Dong Ku Ru, that braised pork belly, is named after.
Yeah.
The meal has to be culturally resonant, politically savvy. It's incredibly high stakes.
And speaking of stakes and how things work, this brings us to Guangxi.
Ah, yes. Guangxi. It's hard to overstate its importance. It means connection, relationship, but also this web of mutual obligation, indebtedness.
Sam calls Chinese life man-eat-man sometimes, but Guangxi is the thing that holds it together.
It functions like the social safety net, yeah? It's how you get things done, how you find favor, how you survive. It's built on trust and reciprocal favors over time.
But if it's a safety net based on connections, does it clash with pure merit, like in Sam's competition?
Well, the source presents it as just the reality. And we see the sharp end of it when Sam, despite creating this incredible banquet, loses the competition.
He loses, even after all that.
He does. The implication is pretty clear.
Yeah.
Another chef, Han Jun, who was perhaps less skilled but better connected, had stronger Guangxi with the judges.
Wow. So it shows how the system can be both essential for stability and potentially deeply unfair to pure talent.
It's the paradox of how things work there, according to the source. Lifeline and obstacle, all at once.
Okay, so while Sam's dealing with that intense pressure, his path crosses with Maggie's, again, very directly. They travel together.
Yes, down to Shaoxing. This is for Maggie's legal mission to meet Shuing's grandparents and get that DNA sample.
And Sam goes with her, posing as her associate or lawyer. Why?
Sam understands the importance of appearances in these situations. Having a professional-seeming male figure adds weight, maximizes her advantage in a potentially difficult meeting.
He tells her to put on a show.
Right. It underscores that theme again, the theater of interaction. You project respect, seriousness, control, even if you're falling apart inside.
And during this trip, Maggie gets some really difficult answers about Matt.
Yeah, the emotional core of it. She learns from the family that Shuing's mother, Galanan, actually had 2 foreign men in her life around the time Shuing was conceived.
Oh, wow.
So Galan filed the claim against Matt, who she apparently didn't even think was the father because she was scared of the other man involved.
It's incredibly complicated, a different kind of betrayal almost.
It is. But amidst that confusion, Maggie also gets this moment of clarity or reassurance. The attorney, Carrie James, explicitly tells her that Matt really loved her, Maggie, and that he ended things with Gowlan because of his love for her.
So painful information, but also affirmation of their relationship.
Exactly. And right when Maggie is processing all this turmoil, Sam steps in, using food in that very specific cultural way.
Following the principles from his grandfather's book, The Last Chinese Chef.
Precisely. He sees her grief, her suffering, and he cooks for her. A simple poached chicken. But the ingredients are key.
Ginger, cilantro, chives.
Pungent flavors. In traditional Chinese thought, these flavors are believed to help heal grief. They supposedly draw the sorrow up and out of the body, releasing it.
Food as medicine for the soul.
Literally. And Maggie's reaction is interesting. At first, she feels almost invaded by this intense, unsolicited act of care.
Like it's too much, too personal.
Maybe. But then she realizes the food is so necessary to her. She eats it, and she starts to feel lighter. She finds comfort not just in the food, but in the presence of Sam, his family who are around. It's Guangxi working in a positive way, genuine connection, providing support.
And then the legal part finally wraps up. The DNA results come back.
Match. Negative.
Yeah.
Shuing isn't Matt's daughter.
Closure on that front. But it feels like the bigger change has already happened inside Maggie.
Yeah. By this point, the legal outcome feels almost secondary. She has this realization that grief wasn't static. It was a thing that could change. She's starting to heal through these experiences and connections.
While Maggie's finding some resolution, Sittler's still wrestling with his own pressures. The competition, his dying uncle, the weight of his grandfather's legacy.
Yeah. And before the big banquet, there's this scene where he tries to make his third Uncle Shi's signature dish. Famous pork ribs, ruin your own.
And Uncle Shi, even though he's incredibly frail, dying. He tastes it.
And he gives Sam this incredibly harsh critique. Brutal, almost.
What's wrong with the dish?
She demands more subtlety, more intelligence, not just strong flavors hitting you over the head. He talks about it needing to be a play on texture, where every texture suggests a flavor. It's about refinement, intellectual control, not just technique, mastery.
Wow. Tough love from a master. But then comes this huge turning point.
The return of the father.
Yeah.
Liang.
Yeah.
Sam's father's finally persuaded to come back to China to see his dying brother, Xi.
And he arrives just in the nick of time, doesn't he, during Sam's banquet audition.
Right when disaster strikes. Uncle Tan accidentally ruins one of Sam's key dishes, this spongy tofu with crab sauce. Critical moment.
And Liang, just steps in.
This man, who supposedly hadn't cooked in decades because of his trauma, he just calmly, effortlessly whips up 3 exquisite cold vegetable dishes.
Like what?
Things like incredibly thin, almost see-through slices of watermelon radish, perfect knife work, perfect balance, effortless.
And Sam watches this.
And realizes his father isn't just competent. He's just naturally great. He is the true last Chinese chef, the inheritor of that skill and artistry, despite his years away from the stove.
What a moment. Father and son reconciled through cooking under pressure.
Exactly. And even though Sam technically lost the competition spot because of Guangxi,
the banquet itself was a triumph.
Absolutely. Everyone acknowledges it. The judges, his family, they toast him. It's hailed as unforgettable, a masterpiece of imperial cuisine. It's a victory beyond the official result.
And the acceptance from his father is cemented later, isn't it?
The next morning, Liang Wei serves Sam the breakfast congee first. A huge gesture of honor and respect in that context.
And then he tells Maggie, but make sure Sam hears it.
That the son will stay. He accepts Sam's choice to remain in China, to pursue this path, and right then, Sam and Maggie hold hands. A quiet acknowledgement of the deep bond they've formed through all this.
So Maggie went to China looking for answers to a legal question, really hoping to escape a painful situation.
But she left with so much more. This incredible education in a completely different way of thinking about food, about life.
Yeah. The core takeaway, which we've sort of unpacked here, is that Chinese cuisine at this level isn't just about taste or sustenance. It's a whole system.
A system of relationships, history, philosophy, connection. Deeply cultural.
She found a new lens for her grief, didn't she? And this unexpected relationship with Sam built on shared vulnerability and that supportive Guangxi she experienced.
Yeah. She learned relief didn't come from shutting down, but from opening up, connecting, being pulled into that web of care.
So to leave you with a final thought to chew on, something from the book, Sam's Uncle C is near the end, looking out his window.
Right. And he's watching the bamboo. He reflects on how bamboo flowers only once, maybe once a century, and then immediately after flowering, it dies.
This incredible rare beauty right before the end.
And he sees it as a metaphor, maybe for China's own cycles, hardship, cruelty, famine, but then renewal, beauty. And he asks this question, something like, what is the most beautiful thing that is only born just before it vanishes?
It makes you think, doesn't it, that maybe the most profound art, the deepest connections, the biggest transformations, maybe they often happen right at the edge, at moments of extreme pressure or transition.
A fragile beauty born from intensity. So maybe think about that today. Where in your life might the most beautiful, fragile thing be emerging right now, perhaps right before a change?